Welcome to the How to Heal podcast, the show where we explore real life stories and practical tools to thrive. I'm your host, Lindsay Trimarchi Richter, and through over a 15-year journey of all things healing, I'm here to hook it up. If you're feeling overwhelmed, looking for a deeper connection, or straight up in a psycho-spiritual crisis, I got you covered. Let's unearth your unique elixir to purpose, peace, and progress. Here we go. You know, we just got to get up some days and do what we need to do. First of all, I went through this format of sort of teaching the pillars of physical, mental, emotional, and spirituality, and tying that into this sort of thesis I have around core energetics. And I went through that iteration about 3 full times, and then I did integration episodes where we talk about how those pillars play with one another. And it got really heavy. Those episodes got really heavy, and around my birthday, I was getting a ton of viewership. My birthday was June 19th. I was getting a ton of views, and I hit this like peak. And just as life, at least for me, comes the valley. And we are in the valley, baby. We are in the valley. What I am trying to figure out is where we're taking these next episodes and what makes sense. And I think what I want to do today is just talk a little bit about me and some stories about why maybe I am someone that you would want to listen to. And hopefully you will find whatever it is you find that is inspiring, motivating, finding solace in, relatability, some of the stories. I knew when I went to NYU for real estate, I knew immediately that this was not for me. I knew going into commercial real estate development was not something that my soul wanted. And sometimes I think it takes so much trust in the unseen and the unknown to follow that urge, because so many times you're kind of just left dead in the water. And I've been dead in the water. Like, I wish I could say I was that person that was always like, I overcome adversity in the moment and I rise to the occasion every time and I have the right thing to say and I always have the correct, response and plan of attack and mentality to get through the level. I was thinking about like when I was a kid in the 80s and Zelda was popular and I like sucked at Zelda. I was like, I can't figure this shit out. Like, I need to figure out this board. Like, I have to figure out this puzzle. Like, there were so many other things I was good at, like coordination, but like strategy was not a strong suit for me. And I just think like, that's why I liked chess so much, because I'm like, I thought playing chess, it didn't only require strategy. The awesome thing about chess is that it also relies on intuition. So, needless to say, I was never the person who was really just killing it in the moment at the game. There were so many times where I was just left feeling depressed and defeated and insulted and like the underdog. And I say that because I think when we really try to figure out who we are, we need to be okay sitting as the underdog. We need to be okay sitting in failure. We need to be okay with folding in the cards. And it's not always full steam ahead. I don't know where we got this concept of it needs to be full steam ahead. Last night we watched Working Girl, and funny enough, that movie is like ingrained in my head. It came out in 1989. Melanie Griffith was 31 when she made that movie. And that was like the quintessential sort of motto for every woman, that came out of the Sex and City era. Like, I remember going into the city when I was working at a law firm in college, and I was wearing New Balance sneakers with a pencil skirt and like a matching top. And I was walking in, and I was like, I feel so empowered wearing these sneakers with the skirt. And now watching Working Girl, that was her look. So I guess like we were just taught to be that woman who went after it all, like went after the career and made her way. And I think it was really difficult for me to let go of that when I knew that real estate was not, when I refused to listen to my soul's calling of, I don't like this. And for me, when I refused to listen to that soul's calling of, I don't like this, I really was quite scared because it was all I knew. I didn't know how to listen to what I wanted. I only knew how to listen to what everyone else wanted. And like, not only what everyone else wanted, but what everyone else wanted of me. And what I thought that was, because no one really tells you, like, unless you're Britney Spears, no one's telling you like, you need to do this and you need, you assume what your parents want, your teachers, your whatever, your friends. And I guess sometimes I just wonder if I've made my life more difficult than it needs to be. And then I zoom out at bird's eye and I'm like, I have so many blessings. I had fun. I have everything that I've ever wanted. I have so many blessings. And it was just this crazy way that I got here. So I guess what I'm saying is that I don't think my mission to find a pattern exists, at least not now, and at least not in the way that I'm trying for it to exist. I think with creating this podcast, I really made a statement of, if you do X, Y, and Z, you will get to health. You will get to, I don't want to say enlightenment because that's not what I'm teaching, but just like a different view. And I think right now I'm speechless. I have nothing to say. I went through, me and myself, these iterations of the concepts and the integration, and it is real. That is valuable and that does exist. I'm just not sure I can come here and say to you, this is the answer. Like, I just don't have it. But what I do have is the ability to make my own decisions when I want to make my own fucking decisions, and fail and figure out how to pick up the pieces when I fail, and then make some right decisions or make some positive decisions. And, it's just a dance. It's a dance. And when we look to just make everything so methodical, so rigid, so structured, it becomes outdated very quickly. This weekend, we were singing karaoke. We have a basement that it's like our karaoke den. We have a bar. My husband bought a big neon light that says what, Cocktails and Dreams from Cocktail, the movie. And we sing karaoke all the time down there. We had this weird thing happening with the signal from the laptop to the TV. And because we display the words on the TV, the music plays from the TV, and then we sing through the karaoke machine. But the mirror from my Mac to the TV to Apple TV was like not clear. Not the whole time, but every once in a while it would like pause and we wouldn't be able to hear. The signal was weird. And I think about that, and I'm sure I was the only person singing karaoke this weekend thinking, oh, like this signal, this coherence issue is like an energy issue. Everyone else was just like, this is not working. This TV is not working. Like, let me bang on it. And I'm like, oh, well, I've got weird energy here. Taking it on like it's my fault. Listen, I know obviously it wasn't just me and my energy being weird. Maybe it was like, some incoherence. But I think about that example and just think about when you have an intention to do something and the goal is to carry that intention through and to hold the intention mindfully as long as you can hold it until it becomes second nature. It's sort of like when the power is high, the light is on, but then the power gets low and the light goes off. I was thinking like of that book, A Light in the Attic. It's like the light in the attic is going off and no one knows it's off. But when it goes on, no one knows it's on either, but it's there. There's a light somewhere going off and on that we're not seeing. And I feel like sometimes that light can be off for years where you're just not on the frequency. You're not touching the pulse. Your heart isn't in it. Your heart isn't married to your mind. And you're just somewhere else. You're just somewhere else. And you can't tend to it. And it feels like when you can't tend to it and then you realize that you're not tending to it, like for me, it's like a scary thing. It's like, oh my God, I dropped that ball for so long. I totally forgot to do that. And, I guess there's a correlation between forgetting and then just like being out of control, right? So that fear of, oh, I dropped the ball on that for so long. How did I forget? How did I forget to do that? I forgot that that was so important to me. And I just got carried away with living life. And then there are times when you're just like, I'm out of control. It's not that I just forgot. Like I don't even have the faculties to get back to what I forgot to do. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid the spinning out of control into, oh my God, I completely lost myself. And I guess my mission with the podcast is to really try to find out what we can control. Because I think that there's more that we can control than we think. There's more than we control. There's more than we can control than what we already know we can control. And maybe control is not the right word. Maybe it's like manipulate or harness or see or feel. But I'm going to keep showing up every week. Even if it's like I don't have anything to teach, I know I just need to hang on the rope, hang on the lifeline. It's my lifeline. This is my lifeline. And I know that sounds quite dramatic, but when you've let yourself down and you get a signal and you get a hit of something that you should follow and you don't follow it and you keep letting yourself down, you get scared. You get to that point where you're like, oh my God, I'm out of control. Initially, it doesn't seem like a lot. Initially, it just seems like a mess. But eventually, it becomes you're drowning. You're way underwater. And you haven't swam up to keep yourself closer to the surface so you could breathe. It feels really emotional to talk about this, but I think that we need to remember who we are. And it's so easy to forget who we are. And at the times when we really want to just know who we are, it's almost like the hardest times. Like when I played that Zelda game and couldn't get through that level. Like couldn't figure out how to play the game. Didn't want to, focus my energy on it. It's in the times of just the mundaneness, the dullness, the get through the day with doing the dishes, some laundry, and cooking yourself a meal. Like whatever normal looks like to you. That's when we have the breakthroughs. Not when it's like hitting on all cylinders, finding success, making more money, getting married, getting pregnant, getting the job, getting the fame. It's I can't get through this fucking board. And there's another layer that I need to uncover. And the only person that's going to be able to uncover it is me. But I want to just say, like, when we think about what it is more that we can control, I want you to think about resonance and that energy before and after you have presence somewhere. So when someone sees you because you're there in the room, you have an energy there. But what is your resonance? What is your presence felt? What is your energy that is felt without your presence being there? How are you resonating? Not only on a conscious level, but a subconscious energetic level. It feels like, I don't know, I've been having these nightmares right after I go to bed. Within an hour that I'm dying. I'm like trapped somehow and I'm dying. And it feels like there is a frequency somewhere else that needs my attention, needs the best of me. And almost like the best of me isn't enough. And I think it's just the human experience that we have living as imperfect beings. And I hate to say this because I just don't even, I'm struggling with it, but I'm going to say it because I think I just need to be honest here. But like in this like crumbling world, I say that with all due respect for people who want to remain positive, and I believe that there should be no doomsday thinking and feeling and mentality. But our world is hurting. Like physically, Mother Earth is hurting. And the energy of that, the energy, the nicks and I talk about this in a previous episode, the nicks and the energy have added up to the point where we're like needing to come clean, it's like when we drop the pebble in the water, we see the ripples. It doesn't really apply though to that. This whole resonance thing doesn't really apply to that because there's no ripples in anything other than a whole other body of water. So like, you're not like anticipating the pebble coming, you know what I mean? Like water is so important to health and healing. I really just think that we need to focus on the cleanliness, the cleanness, the crispness, the clarity of water. And when we have negative thoughts and when we, it like makes the water have disformulated crystal structures, and like positive thoughts make beautiful crystal structures. And like, we just have to think about water and how we can manipulate water, different bodies of water how can we connect the different bodies of water that aren't touching? Maybe they will never be connected, or another element like air connects them. But the separateness of this world that we're in right now is just becoming very apparent. And I think that candidly, we're always pretty separate, but now we're just easily more able to see through the bullshit. So please, no doomsday thinking. Just recognize that, like, we're in this shitstorm now where we're seeing everything that is disharmonious, and it is our responsibility to remain grounded and sovereign in these moments. My last thought is just how much preparation is required to be who you want to be. How much preparation is required? And guess what? It requires a lifetime of preparation. You are consciously and unconsciously preparing for who you are meant to be in your life at all times. And there can never be enough preparation, because the more you prepare consciously, the more ammunition you have in your arsenal. So I'm going to leave you with that. I know this was like a little bit of a disjointed episode. I hope that it resonates. I am here every week showing up, being real, being raw, not using chat fucking GPT to, prompt my episodes. This is me unfiltered, and I don't really care who's judging it, who's not listening to it, who is listening to it. I actually care if you are here listening to this and I'm speaking to you in some way that I don't even realize I'm speaking to you. It is my soul's calling to speak these thoughts right now. And I'm just so happy that you are here with me on that journey. So have an awesome week, guys. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.